Hello, YouTube. It is I, Peglin Teak, back for more Peglin. It's Peglin. It's Peglin time. Let's go, Peglin. More Cruciball today for those who weren't introduced to it, in the last couple episodes. Cruciball is a challenge mode, much like Ascension, stacking difficulty modifiers. I like it. I have felt that it has increased the intrigue of the game for me. A little bit more skin is involved, at least proximally to the game. Begins as it always does. Would you like a boost? Offered powder collector, every 30 pegs hit is converted to a bomb. Unicorn horn, your aim is longer and displays an additional bounce. Or bomb baton, pegboard start with +3 bombs. Bomb, bitty bitty bomb. Bomb bitty 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 bomb. I know where I'm going. This bomb place. The slimes are here. Hope you're all having a lovely day, by the way, YouTube. So glad to be here. I have just finished cutting up a bunch of incredible episodes of demos from my last Demothon that I'm excited to share on YouTube because, frankly, they work very well for YouTube, and I get to introduce you to a bunch of games, so that's exciting. That being said, I have been in the studio for very, very many hours today, and I just finished drinking a bunch of coffee so that we can play some Peglin, and then after that, I'm going to stream, and then after that, I'm going to Disney. We hope. Any day now. Not too worried about the early game with Bomb Baton, by the way. As long as we play, like, kind of reasonably, we should be all right. What we need to be asking ourselves is, how do we get all righter? What kind of things are we going to pick up to get stronger? A notable absence of elites makes me cry. I think we go left, and then either, and then take these two events and the chest, event chest. It's probably our best chance to find something that makes us dramatically strong, right? Like Orboros event. So, left wants to be the open way. We've already opened up left, no problem. Easy money. The slimes are getting closer to us. Whatever will we do?
According to my calculations, if these slimes take another step, we're doomed.
Now, somebody pointed out the other day in the comments that if you're worried about a reload giving an enemy an action, and so you throw your last orb, and that orb is not a lethal, and that orb is not the orb you really wanted, it may have been preferable to go ahead and just discard it. Because they're getting one action either way, right? And actually, if you throw an orb and don't win, now they're getting 2 actions from that reload. Whereas you could have been accelerating through the reload and towards something a little bit more useful. And that's a good point. It's a good point. Speaking of orbs, Reorbanizer is here. Shuffle crits and refreshes every 5 pegs hit. Now, this is growing on me. Let me talk to you about something that I've realized very recently. I finally figured out while I was not on camera why I was wrong about Dag Orb, which I'm hoping I get to call this episode, Why I Was Wrong About Dag Orb, and then, you know, a crazy face. Welcome to YouTube. Dag Orb might not be that consistent in the early game, and it might not be as strong as some of the other orbs you can get, but what it is a starter orb with 1 really big number. And what really big numbers do is survive negative effects, like Matryoshka Shell, like the what's the other negative one? It'll come to me. It'll come to me any minute now. We used it recently. Suffering. Glorious Suffering. I've been thinking. How do I take advantage of all the boss relics? Because the truth is, some of them are better than others. But what kind of orbs do I need to take to be able to take advantage of whatever's offered? And when it comes to the negative effects, what you want are upgrades and a few orbs that have stats that will survive it. And ideally effects that can thrive within those conditions. Reorbanizer says 2-5. It's just got a pretty decent crit value, right? And so I have to imagine that this might kind of synergize with some of the crit things that you can get into. That being said, Poltorbgeist is known very good. A little bit less important, though, with Bomb Baton, at least for Act 1 and 2. We've already got a bunch of bombs to do the whole AoE thing. What Poltorbgeist also does, though, is pass upward through pegs, and that's incredible for some maps. So where hitting a peg and then going back up through a thick layer can give you way more bounces. This can be a good single target effect in specific maps, so I quite like it, and Bramball solves some of our elites. Notably, though, we're not going to see him for a long time. Hey, it is Cruciball, so we could run into an elite in a question mark room. And so it's not obscene to take Bramball here just to make sure that we have some answer for Minotaur in case we get them in a random fight. I don't even think it's that bad, and it's just a decent orb to take. Plus, somebody pointed out to me that at level 3 it actually does get more Bramble, which is pretty sweet. You know, there's a case to be made for every single one of these, and I think the thing that I need to be focused on is that we're not going to struggle in hallway fights. So we need to be prepping for the long haul. We need to be making picks that make us better at beating Avogadro, picks that make us better at the elites, and potential hiding elites in the question mark rooms. And so honestly, my inclination is towards Bramball because it's such a useful utility, it's such a solve. But hey, we might miss these other two orbs. I'm really torn there. And I like that because, you know, a few sessions ago, I wouldn't have been torn. And that's a sign of growth, right? When you look at a problem that you've seen before and you have a different idea about it, you understand it differently, that's a sign that you're growing within the game. I certainly feel that way. Speaking of growth,
Bramball! Go get him!
Looks like we are going to get some bomb action on the get-go here. That's going to be a lethal on that Spoder. Not bad, and we set up 3 bombs too. We're going to get hit by 1 spider, but that's far from the end of the world. Now, remind myself. Plan was, oh, either way works, actually. Either way works. So wherever it goes, it goes. And it'll just be fine. Wherever it goes, it goes. That'll do, pig. That'll do. In that case, let's upgrade Bramball, because maybe we can get Bramball to level 3. And at level 3, I'll be very pleased. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Built? Okay, good. We take 5 damage from fire in Cruciball, so do not want. Another fight. Planning to go right, so we need to make sure that that gets clear. Another thing someone pointed out in the comments, hey, I read the comments. Did you know that I read the comments? Pegs that have not been hit have a white outline. Pegs that have been hit but refreshed have a dimly gray outline. I actually knew this and have been playing around it, but it's not something I've mentioned, and it's pretty important. If you're trying to get better at being intentional, not just with how you clear the stage, but with prepping for your next traversal, you should be paying attention to where the gray pegs are hiding. And so, it's something I never mentioned, and frankly, it was a miss. I should have mentioned it. Speaking of miss, let's not miss. Let's go to the right side, since that's where we're planning on going. Clear as many pegs as we can. You think I can split the gap here with this? I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's, I mean, far from a big deal, right? Oh! Oh man, actually... It actually got really close. It pretty much hit every peg other than the crit peg, but that's okay. It was still enough to kill the plant. We'll take it. Teak, you could have thrown that away. Yeah, you know what? That's true. Hoping here that we can just get 2 bombs back to back and kill off this plant. Oh, no. Well, I mean, yes? Wait, but yes? I mean, it certainly makes us better on this specific round. Makes it a little harder for me to finish clearing, though. In that case, let's stay focused. Focused on the work. Everything is about getting to the right side now. We've got plenty of rounds to do it while this slime slowly moves towards us. Well, plenty is... Maybe it's not plenty. Maybe plenty's not the right word in this circumstance, huh? Okay. Maybe we can get a kill? That sure would be nice. This is one of the downsides of focusing on clean traversals, for sure. is that you can end up in a position to where you kind of hose yourself. Oh, but we got it. We actually got more clear there. And then the bomb set the hook. Okay, so Bramble up to a 4 base damage, 8 crit damage, and there it is, Bramble 3. So that's 3 rounds of lockdown. Pretty good. In case we randomly run into Minotaur, fight's solved. That plus the bombs, it's just plenty of damage. So I've been avoiding the topic because I'm just having a very good time with the game. But I've been thinking recently that it's time to start thinking long-term about Peglin. And asking myself, what do I enjoy? What do I think could use more balance? What am I excited about? Because remember, the game is early access. And we have a unique opportunity, particularly me and the community around me, to provide feedback to games like these that we're engaged in eagerly during early access. And I will say that one thing that I've encountered is the more that I play, the more that it feels to me that basically every bomb relic is takeable basically all the time. And in fact, is frequently the single best way to get stronger and safer for getting through the first couple acts. By the time you get to Act 3, when all of a sudden the bombs might not be quite as effective as clearing things, depending on your kit, hopefully the amount of damage and consistency that you got for bombs allowed you to take difficult fights, to take elites, and to get stronger, and then you have relics to carry you. And so that's been an interesting thing. It's not taken very many rounds to kind of converge on the idea of, oh, bombs are kind of always take relics, right? And it was cool, though, because there were some rounds of play to where I was wary of one or the other. Oh, bomb refreshes, that's a little too spooky. Or, oh, sapper sack, like that's probably not takeable. And in every case, I have eventually been wrong. I have eventually figured out how exactly I was supposed to take said relic and how it can otherwise simplify the game, right? And so that's definitely one thing I've been thinking about, not with an eye towards criticality, but an eye towards long-term engagement and balance, right? What kind of changes, what kind of, relics, what kind of fights, what kind of maps would I be interested in to maintain and even increase a variety of options? And to make sure that double-edged swords are in fact double-edged and not just two edges both pointed towards the enemy, right? Like twin two-shtick or what? It's like how many blades are on the razor and they're all pointing towards my enemy, right? Like at some point in time, it doesn't matter if it's double-edged. If the edges are in the barrel of a shotgun, right? And so, yeah, that's one thing I'm thinking about, and I'm eager to see what the devs do in the long run is how do we make sure that the strong decisions have risks and that the weaker decisions or weaker options have upsides, are takeable sometimes. That's key for an interesting roguelike, right? That's key, is that even the worst thing is takeable in some circumstance. Even if it's just an alternate game mode, even if it's just the speedrunner's card, or it's, a card for a very specific build, if it's something that you take only as a last option because you have to take it, right? Those kinds of things keep these games very interesting, and so I'm eager to see how that plays out over time. I am, however, eager to take less damage in this fight. As I've been yakking and yapping, I have failed to hit all of the bombs, which I have acquired so many of. I am struggling to make use of our sweet, sweet bombs. But I figured there it would be pretty easy to get 4 damage, and at that point we could try to set up to hit this bomb. Maybe we take 1 hit. Or maybe not. Heck yes. Okay, I'd say we minimize damage there at the end in spite of, honestly, kind of a sloppy mid-fight. Well, that's okay. We did all right. So I'm going to start upgrading Dagorb, right? We have, to be honest, a fairly weak start. We want to be open to really strong boss relics, even if they're not traditionally tantalizing. No. Guess we're going left. I should have just thrown harder right and let it take 1 bounce, but that's okay. With Bomb Baton, we're pretty strong at fights. I mean, honestly, that's the other thing, by the way, is that my current appraisal of the game is that other than when you're acquiring basic orbs, that hallway fights, regular fights, are the weakest node. Consistently, I find elites, treasures, and question marks to be more powerful nodes in terms of improving your run. And I do think that, particularly as the game goes later, there might be a way to make hallway fights more than just a punishment. You would think that upgrades would be enough. You would. And in some cases, I think that's true, but in most cases, I'm appraising every node as stronger than basic fights. And to be honest, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, no more deluge of my appraisals and evaluations, because we're gonna go hitless in this fight right now. I mean, we're gonna lock this down, and we need to open up the right side. So we got a lot of work to do. I mean, busy. I wanna open up also without setting off every bomb, right? But we wanna get the bombs available, right? Like, let them show themselves on the table, so to speak. Now, it's a little risky to go too hard right, because we could hit the refresh, and that could actually make our lives substantially more difficult. This level is a weird one in that sometimes it's actually really, really hard to set off bombs on this level. Like, surprisingly so. This one's always going to be easy to eat. Heat. That's so funny. I've been working with this really lovely man. I've had this bathroom renovation going on for an eternity, and I've been working with this guy, and he's Spanish first language, and I speak Spanish, but I'm very rusty. And so I've been speaking with him more during the day while he's been working here. At his suggestion, to be clear. People don't just roll into my house and I start yelling at them in Spanish. But whenever I start speaking Spanish more, I start doing very weird things in English. In Spanish and other Latin languages, I is pronounced as an E, right? An E sound, a long E. And so I think in my head I went heat, and then it just went to eat. Yes, we're going to heat these enemies. Oh man, the brain is a funny place. It really is. Well, I said I was gonna go no hit. And what I meant was not too many hits. Not too many. Some hit, to be clear. We're gonna have trouble going right now. Let's work on that. I'm pretty sure we'll get to 8 here. So we're safe to just clear a little bit. Perfect. I think that that's enough pegs cleared. It's gonna have to be. Dagorb level 3. Good enough for me. I think we can split the gap right here. No. Yes! That's fine. I'll take the hit. Really. I mean it. No! Peglin!
Fights are the weakest node in the game.
I've been the traversal. My strats. Okay, that's fine. We take it on the chin. That's part of what we like about roguelikes. It's being punished. It's a form of masochism. Video game masochism. Okay, this is just comes with the territory. Whatever. Hey, you know what? We do need another orb. We've actually gotten mad upgrades, right? I would be pleased to pick up one more orb right now. Something with legs. I'm gonna try to bounce this kind of straight up off of this crit so that it has a chance to hit lots of pegs, right? Some pegs? Pegs. It has made contact with pegs. That's good enough for Tiki. Oh, please. Well, the good news is all the enemies are here. So now we can proceed to kill them. Slowly. Don't make it fast. Make it last. I wonder if that's actually going to matter. Did they buff Bramble? Not yet. I would like to see the pass-through damage be higher, but I understand that in the very beginning of the run, it's already pretty effective. And so it's kind of like the number needs to be a lot higher probably, but if you made the Bramble Thorns value like 50, now it's too strong, right? Okay, now, in a not too distant past video, I said that I had come down on Nosferatu slightly, right? The fact that you can't go above your healing amount in terms of damage, right? Your actual healing amount. In other words, if you manage to hit 1,000,000 pegs and Nosferatu says a bagrillion, but you can only heal 15, then you'll only do 30 damage, 2x at level 3, 2x AoE. So it's very limited in its damage output, but it is not limited in its ability to heal you if you're managing your HP well enough. If you get too low, then you'll be in dire straits because you can't afford to even throw it. But right now what we need is some healing and another veritably useful upgrade target, and so I feel okay about Nosferatu, right? Just having something that we can trigger to get a heal in a fight, especially with all the bombs, we can afford to use orbs that do less damage because we can heal a bunch while also using bombs to finish the fight, right? If we're managing correctly, I guess, right? Comes down to management. We also need to be sure that by the time we get to these elites, we can take 2. I think that's pretty critical. Right now, we're horrendously weak. We've already hit the midline almost with 1 relic still. No elite fights, a couple Deece orbs, some good upgrades, but yeah, we're not strong, right? We're certainly not strong. We would not say that he's strong so much as becoming stronger. He'll be big someday when he's older. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should have skipped straight to the Bramble for the big damage. Maybe. It's valid. Couple bombs. Boom, boom. Gonna take more distant hits. But hopefully we can get a pretty decent Nosferatu right here. That would make me just delighted. Delighted too, sir! Oh no. Oh, it's like neutral. Jeez. Yeah, that's the one trouble with this map, is that a lot of the times you end up clearing straight through the middle. This is one where Poltorpgeist actually would have been real sick. Real sick. Let's just try to get these bombs set up. You know, it might feel bad, but ultimately getting a couple bombs off is going to mitigate damage in most worlds, especially with this kind of mangled map at this point. And the other thing I'm thinking is, if we're clearing to the left, we want to go right in the end, but if we're clearing to the left, it might get us to the refresh, which could be value. Okay. On this turn, I think we just want to get in there. Yeah, but if we do this, it's going to bounce straight out, right? So rude. I'm trying to, like, perfectly pixel clip the edge to try to get to... Oh, God, in my head, it was going to work. In my head, I was sure that it would turn out. I don't know why. Head. Why you think that, head? This is fine. We actually got a better clear here at the end, too, so we should be able to consistently get out to the right, and that's nice. This might be one of those runs where we have to take an Orbalisk, as much as I don't want to. I mean, we don't have a good mechanism to produce damage right now. An Orbalisk is a consistent source before the boss and before the elites. So, I'm okay with it. You know, we could end up rocking stone to the bone. I've done it once, I'll do it again. It works. Tough act so far. For real. Fresh bandana's nice. More refreshes. I certainly do not mind it. It's gonna be tough. If we see an Orboros event right now, can we afford to take it? Towards the end of the act, the events start to flag a little bit. It becomes harder and harder to take them, in my mind. Okay, we're planning to go right, so let's clear to the right. Plenty of bombs here, so long as we set them up. Let the games begin, I guess. If we can kill this one, we're safe for a round. And with Bramball, that's easy enough. Just have to hit 2 pegs. Seems very doable. Now what? Go towards the middle. Wow, I was like, well, I guess we're not. Oh, well, nope, I guess we are. Well, nope. Peglin! I should be discarding towards Nosferatu. That's my mistake in this fight so far. We can certainly get a heal here. We have a good map for it. Come on, clip it. Clip it. Clip it. Hit it. Nice. Huge. Okay. I don't want to hit too many things. So I'm actually going to kind of throw this out to the right. In the hope... Wow, hello? We certainly did some damage. Yeah, I wanted to set this up for Nosferatu so it could get in here and really do some bouncing. Bounce, baby, bounce, bounce. Yeah, that's a 40-point heal. I mean, that's really worth. We can get hit by the back quite a few times before that's not worth. However, this one is looking like it's going to turn out negative. We'll see. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right, let's finish it off. Let's close it down. Very pleased with that fight. We managed to get a bit of an upgrade. Okay, right. Orbalist upgrades don't matter right now because we don't have bold orbs. So we stick to upgrading Nosferatu to get the 2x damage and to slow down the self-damage ramp. To the right was my recollection. We might have to do this. Okay. I think we'll survive this act, especially with this. I'm nervous. We're not very strong. But boss relics can change everything. We haven't taken a plus damage boss relic in a long time, and this could be a great run for it, especially with all the stones. It says you reach a clearing with a strange amount of crows circling above. You don't think much of it until they start to drop stones on you with the stones. You hold the satchel above your head and run through the field to avoid any bruises, but your satchel absorbs the stone, and stone. Level 2, level 3, level 1. I mean, effectively we got 3 stones and 1, 2, 3 upgrades. That's pretty good. I think that probably a lot of people sleep on this event because they're like, but I don't want stones. And in many runs, I agree with you, but the fact that they can come quite upgraded and that they synergize with that early game Orbalisk to give you real damage makes it more enticing, at least, if not completely, at least more. Now, this is brutal. I had forgotten that this was a thing. Definitely want to go right. So we can fight double elite. Okay. Slimes should be a good one for us as long as we play our cards right, as they say. And we want to get to Bramble. That'll be pretty effective. The key will be making sure to get as much bomb value as possible, but we have so many bombs that we don't want to wait too long before we start prepping them. We don't have short fuse, so we shouldn't wait until we're taking damage to get the bombs popping. Oh, I should have targeted this one. That was a mistake. That's the Orbalisk. It's going to do a ton of damage, and I could have targeted the back line, but you know what? It'll kill off the front line. That's not so bad. Considering the possibilities, we're far from upset. Okay, gonna work towards these left side bombs. That's the idea anyway. Okay, there's one set up. And remember, we're working towards Bramball too. I'm even skipping strong stones to get to Bramball as quickly as possible. Nice. Double bomb? Get some refresh, get some healing. I was hoping to see the crit there, but we'll take the heal. I'm pretty sure Bramball works on this particular enemy, but we're about to find out for sure. There are enemies that can't be brambled, in particular the stone enemies in Act 2. I don't know if you can bramble the stone slimes. I would guess yes, but you certainly can't bramble the stone boss. Or was it that you can't blind the stones? Oh no. Hindsight. Looked so clear. When I was looking back, it was so clear. Okay, we'll just have to do the science. We have a bramble this run. We'll have chances to do the science. It's one of the tricky things when you're playing a game like this is that you're absorbing so much information. Do you ever accidentally absorb the bad information? You gotta think the answer is yes. Sometimes. Or something changes, right? The game is actively changing. Okay. What do we got? A Baborb. That's pretty tempting. With the bomb baton, it's just nice to have around. Way to generate more bombs if we get like Recombobulator or something. Then we've really got a stew going. Let's go ahead and take it. It's good optionality. And it'll make us much better at this next elite fight in some cases. I think I'd take Cruciball's Fleece over Overwhammer, really. We've already got bombs for what Overwhammer does, but Cruciball's Fleece, it can be your solution for damage. It's just been growing on me every run. Every time we take it, it does something obscene. And I don't think that Overwhammer, because we already have Bomb Baton and Babomb, I don't think that Overwhammer does anything particularly stronger than the other things we can do, if that makes sense. We should pay attention here, too, to see what the attack order is. I don't know if it rotates or varies or anything, but let's watch and see. A decent heal. And a bomb. We'll certainly take it. Okay, let's go to the right side. Get in there. Get as much damage as possible. Set off a bomb. Dang it. We barely missed hitting another bomb there. That's too bad. Okay, so is it actually going front to back? I'm gonna pay really close attention, said Teak, moments before forgetting this promise to himself. I'm gonna watch real close. That looked like we got hit by the front one, actually. Back. I've never seen two shoot on the same turn, so at least we know that they're on a 3-turn clock. That's knowledge. How are we jumping these bombs so consistently? I mean, it's just a miracle. Oh no! Quit jumping everything! Please! You know what? We target the front one here. Because if we don't hit 2 bombs, we really want it to die. Maybe we'll hit no bombs. Maybe we'll hit no bombs. I mean, really. I'm gonna go ahead and discard. We're never getting that kill. And so I want to move forward. You also get a refresh back, or a reload, I suppose, is the proper turn of phrase. Oh my goodness, man. About 80. Are we going to get to Nosferatu and heal on the way out, or is that not happening? It's looking like a nah, but it's maybe. You know, I think that's important, though, actually. We'll send it to the left side, and it'll probably hit a bomb. Yeah. Let's plan to get this heal here. Go for the crit, even, I think. These jumps are killing me! Ah! I've got to figure that out on this map. So many times we've jumped over exactly the peg we needed to hit in the rotation. I don't remember having that trouble before. Swoltorb is here. Do we have anything to synergize strongly with it? Honestly, not really. Certainly works with Matryoshka Shell. You know, it is good for specifically bosses. Overwhammer versus Echo Chamber. Let's take Echo Chamber here. Honestly. Oh no. Just a little bit of damage propagation. Doesn't play nice with the Babam, but if we end up getting, say, a plus damage boss relic, it will play very nice. It's gonna be almost impossible to hit this one crit, so let's start discarding and move towards the goodies. My goodies. My goodies. I want to start breaking towards the bombs as well, because we'll have a spawn soon, and I want to be able to bomb it. Oh, wow. We're going on a world tour right here. This is wild. Avogadro still hits real hard, so we don't get to do that very many times. Noted and acknowledged. However, I think bombs will still be a legit strat for getting out of danger, as it were. And I love to see how much damage this Orbalisk is going to do for us. It's huge, like 100 damage hit. Massive. We'll just do both of these back to back. Well, no, because we don't want to bramble. Yeah, no, we're not able to do that. Because if we do this, we're going to end up brambling the mole next to us, and that will lose us the run. I've made that mistake before, and it hurts. The mole will get stuck, and then they will continuously hit you. Not so good, it turns out. We've got a little wiggle room left before we die the true death. Oh no! Why did it do so much? I hadn't fired it yet. What? Did it get the echo? No, that's totally what happened. That's totally what happened. Is that a bug or just evil? Oh my. Oh my god. We were at 15 life. We had not fired Nosferatu. No, the first Nosferatu is 15. No, we were at 25, weren't we? We should have been fine. We're at -6. It did more damage. 21 damage to self. 21 damage to self. Okay, actually, it was a perfect kill regardless, though. I mean, like really, Teak, come on. Okay, listen. It's not my fault, asterisk, that we are at -6 life. That is fishy. As for the rest, well, I don't know. We'll have to figure out if it was my fault in the next episode of Peglin. Okay, bye.